Erev Tov Chabrim, I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and of course, guys, live here this evening. Uh, Listen, before I get into the things that are actually going on right now, just let me kind of give you a little update of what's going on here. I actually have two different broadcasts, or both the same broadcasts there, that I am reloading from earlier today. And I was actually trying to load this in high definition because the information is extremely important. And so I took down the original broadcast, started up, reprocessed this, put it in high def where you guys can see it better, because the quality of reading this, what I'm reading on the screen, is a little bit harder in this the other format. But it's taken so dead blasted long to load. It's still showing me an hour and 26 minutes before that video actually reloads. So I decided, okay, I had already deleted the other one, so now I had to reprocess again. And so I got the second computer uploading right now. It's supposed to be up in about 35 minutes from now. So I'm just going to go ahead and load it in the lower quality. Once it goes to the high def, YouTube might not allow that video to stay up because you can't load the same videos at the same time on your channel. So if that were to happen, what I'll do is I'll load that over on my wife's channel, the high def. I'll just end up deleting it off of our channel here and then move that one over to Yana's channel, Rise Up Children of God, for those of you that really want to be able to see the actual articles, because there's some very important articles in there, and I realize that the original version you can't see the print, and that bugs me. I know I'm sure it bugged many of you guys as well. Anyway, it's very interesting information, very insightful, and I also discuss a little bit about the situation that we are dealing with, a very serious situation we're dealing with here, that we need to seriously have legal counsel in how to proceed, because this battle over the Noahide laws is very intense. So we need your prayers, we need your support in dealing with this as well. You'll get into that in this video. Plus, I actually did a video myself on a lot of the information that, well, really the credit goes to my wife for as far as her research capabilities. But just hang tight, give us a little time. We're working on these things here, but we really need to make sure we cover the bases there, that we don't just go out, half-cocked, so to speak, and making sure too that we do everything to where the work we do is protected, so that you guys can know the truth. And I know you guys value the truth that we bring out to you. So anyway, I won't say no more about it right now, because you'll get to see that here in a little over half an hour as soon as the video loads up there on YouTube there. So at any rate, let me get right into what's really going on though. So I'll jump back over here real quick for you. Just a couple of things that I'm paying attention to right now. U.S. military allegedly sends troops from Jordan to the Iraqi-Syrian border. This is actually being reported by Iraqi news, but I picked this up off of the Lebanon news there, Beirut news there. It says U.S. Army dispatched a new military convoy from Jordan to Ain al-Assad base in Al-Anbar governorate of western Iraq. The Maluma news agency reported on Sunday. According to the Iraqi publication, the U.S. not only dispatched troops from the Ain al-Assad base, but they also transported a large amount of weapons to the border. This report comes just a week after the U.S. sent their aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln to the Persian Gulf region to protect their forces in the Middle East from an alleged Iranian threat. The Maluma News website quoted the head of the Badr organization office in Anbar as saying that the number of U.S. forces deployed in Ain al-Assad and al-Habaniya bases has increased to 10,000, adding that they have been supplied with the state-of-the-art weapons and military equipment. The official said that the two bases also host the U.S. Marines, who have been transferred recently from Syria to Iraq. Nothing that 90% of the U.S. soldiers in Iraq are combat forces and not considered military advisors. It kind of looks like to me that maybe the U.S. is getting ready for an invasion of Iran. And I know there was some talk that the Iraqi government was not going to allow U.S. military to launch any kind of attack from their land, but it may be the other way around. And, it's kind of interesting to see how these things are developing. And speaking of that, and by the way, there's not any other sources that I can find out there either on this issue. But there was one other thing, too, that caught my attention, and it was a comment here on Fox News by President Trump. I'm going to play this here for you in just a moment, but it's really a bit odd, if you ask me, because President Trump is talking about the deep state. And I'm sure those that support President Trump, probably this was like, the fish that swallows the hook, the line, and the sinker all at one time. It just seems so believable. Trump is, wow, he's talking about the deep state again, and they forced him to have all these troops there in Syria when he's trying to get them out. That looks good, and I can tell you one thing, with a political year coming up next year, to me, he's only getting ready to stay in office yet another term, which I would have expected anyway out of President Trump. But it's true that there is no doubt that the elite of the Israeli government need him in power to continue forward with the things that they have in store for our nation as well. But let's listen in, though, because to me it's really just, it's setting up for the next election. Listen to this.
You're not looking for some kind of conflict in Iran.
Well, I'm the one that talks about these wars that are 19 years and people are just there. And don't kid yourself, you do have a military-industrial complex. They do like war. In Syria with the caliphate. So wipe out 100% of the caliphate. That doesn't mean you're not going to have these crazy people going around blowing up stores and blowing up things. These are seriously ill people. I don't want to say, oh, they're wiped out, ISIS. But I wiped out 100% of the caliphate. I said, I want to bring our troops back home. The place went crazy. They want to keep, you have people here in Washington, they never want to leave. I said, you know what I'll do? I'll leave a couple hundred soldiers behind. But if
he said, I'm going to leave a couple hundred soldiers behind. But, all right. Now, granted, let's give him benefit of the doubt. All right, we'll just say for a moment benefit of the doubt. If this is not a campaign ploy, we already know the deep state is determined to keep wars going because that's how they make all their money. So I kind of give him credit for that part there. But the fact of it is, to me, he works very close hand in hand with them. Now, he talks about leaving a couple of hundred troops behind, but as you just saw right here in the article here on Oman News they're talking about a 10,000 increase of soldiers. And now, the article is a little confusing in a way, though. U.S. military allegedly sends troops from Jordan to Iraqi-Syrian border, but they're talking about troops coming from Iraq. I'm assuming, let's just take real quick, we'll take a look at this on map there. Syria map there, that way you can kind of get a better bird's eye view here of what we're dealing with. So, if we're looking at this, and of course, they can't, you can't, let's see, you got Iran right there. The only thing I can figure is that they get up there the tip of Syria there and would go in courtesy right there on the borderline with Turkey. Because, Turkey, as far as from Mosul northwards there, that's still, you have a lot of Turkish troops that have crossed over into the border of Iraq. They've been controlling this northern area. Yes, Iraqi forces did come with U.S. forces there to take Mosul back, but if the U.S. decides to take their troops and then come across through there to stage an invasion on Iran, they could easily do so in the northern part of the country there. And there again, too, Saudi Arabia may allow them to run through the south, cross in through Kuwait. Kuwait, we already have U.S. soldiers there, but... and of course, like they said in the article there, they're bringing troops from the country of Jordan as well. So it looks like they're trying to scrounge up some troops, getting them ready for a possible invasion. We'll just have to wait to see how that plays out. Not really sure. Just wanted to bring those things to your attention. That's mainly what we're seeing right now going on. There was a guy, I didn't want to show the images here, but there is a guy over in, I forget which country it was. Let me just say this, let me warn people before I bring this up, just in case I run into this, because it is on Twitter here, and sometimes you can get some pretty gruesome things. There is a man, some kind of little dispute went on between two guys there. The writing, I'm not sure, it looks like, I think it might be in India or something like that. They set the guy on fire. He runs out of the building on fire, ablaze. So, let me warn you guys to brace yourself in the event I come to that spot there, because it could just pop up anywhere there, and I just want to see, mainly I was just trying to see where that was from. I didn't necessarily want to, oh wow, that's terrible right there. A young sperm whale found dead on the beach there, his stomach full of plastic. The female whale. That's a shame. What a shame. Anyway, though, let me just see if I can find this real quickly here. I saw this moments ago, but I didn't want to show people what had actually happened there. But I'm trying to just remember where that, oh, there it is. It's right there. So let me just back up. I won't show the actual images there. If you hit translate on this here, I don't know what language that actually is, but it says some frightened peacekeeping Imran Ramzan Nizamuddin and Tulip burnt Visha Gawai alive in a minor controversy. I'll just let the tip of the picture come up there so you don't see the full thing there. This guy is literally on fire. And, jeez. Why don't they roll the guy on the ground? Instead, he just comes out. He dies from his wounds there. And again, I'm not familiar with which country that is, what language that is there. I would assume that is like a Hindu type of language, but I may be wrong on that. It could be Persian for all I know. I have no idea how the language actually is there. But anyway, friends, listen, don't forget, check this out. It's coming up. The video here should be up soon here, less than a half an hour away now. But again, it'll be the lower quality of it. Right now, the title of it is What the Future Holds for Freedom. But I'm sure you can only imagine some of the things that are in this video, and it is certainly an eye-opener, but it's not like you guys don't already know the information, but we've got to do something to keep the truth going. Anyway, I'm Steve Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live, Erev Tov. And as we always say, Zayin Shalom, there is no peace. It's a world of no peace. So we can't, if they say peace and safety, we know sudden destruction. Get ready for that one, right? Erev Tov.